Ishpeming water project delayed until next summer, and students at Negaunee High School learn how to prevent bullying.
Adam Diaz will have the latest forecasts, and sports will be with Erica Flint. Hi, I'm Grant Lukens.
And I'm Donnie Eid. Welcome to Public Eye News. The City of Ishpeming City Council has agreed to push back their water project until next year. This is due to delays caused by work stoppages from heavy equipment operators and road workers, which was only recently resolved. The $12 million project aimed to fix around 25% of their aging pipes with new iron ones. City Manager Mark Sloan said there were, quote, delays in getting paving that are going to delay the project going into 2019. And also there was a strategic decision made by the City Council at the last meeting to defer the part of the work from this project to a future one, end quote. Numerous power outages were reported across the Upper Peninsula due to strong blustery winds. At 9 a.m., thousands of customers across the UP were without power, with many being towards the east. Winds have since diminished, and power has since been restored to many regions. If you approach a down traffic lights, you are reminded to treat the intersection as a four-way yield rather than a four-way stop, which could cause major backups and traffic jams.
Governor Rick Schneider issued an executive directive today, on Tuesday, to develop a readiness plan to manage expected responses when PFAS contamination is discovered. PFAS is a colorless liquid made of carbon, hydrogen, fluoride, and oxygen. PFAS is used in non-stick cookware, water-resistant clothing, and stain-resistant furniture. If it enters the water supply, it can cause cancer and endocrine disruption. MPART, the action team developed by Governor Schneider, will monitor waterways with deal with cases as they arise. In honor of Bullying Awareness Month, students at Negaunee have spent the week learning about various kinds of bullying and how to stop it. Negaunee's peer-to-peer class combines special needs students and the general education students to learn about things like autism and how to better deal with people. But this week, the class learned all about bullying and specifically how to speak out against it. Teacher Pam DeBlock says, quote, just by being silent, people assume you go along with the bullying. And the special education population is a target for bullying, unquote. To learn more about Bullying Awareness Month, visit www.stopbullying.com.
After lengthy negotiations, Canada and the United States have agreed to a new NAFTA deal, much to the relief of Canadians. Repeated attacks from U.S. President Donald Trump towards Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau left a bitter taste in the mouth of the U.S.'s closest ally. Through the new deal, Canada avoided having to pay automobile tariffs while allowing the U.S. to access more of its dairy sector, while allowing Washington to potentially prevent Canada from reaching a free trade agreement with China. 3 workers for the Red Cross were attacked on Tuesday while trying to contain the latest Ebola outbreak in the Congo. The Red Cross is calling the attack the most violent attack on the workers in this outbreak. The workers were trying to carry out safe Ebola burials in the northeastern city of Butembo. There have been 130 confirmed cases of Ebola, including 74 deaths, since the outbreak was declared on August 1st. And after the break, we'll have your national and international news. Stay tuned.
Michigan's Upper Peninsula is blessed with world-class natural resources, providing fantastic recreation opportunities for everyone to enjoy. I'm John Pepin, Deputy Public Information Officer for the Michigan Department of Natural Resources. Find out more about what you'd like to know when our Ask the DNR panelists take your call-in questions live on WNMU TV.
Ask the DNR your questions on bird hunting, live Thursday night at 8 on Public TV 13.
Welcome back. Visitors to New Zealand will be charged 5,000 New Zealand dollars, which is 3,243 US dollars, for refusing to provide passwords to secure electronic devices, allowing officials to examine all files on the device. The new law is being condemned as a grave invasion of privacy, and the law came into effect on October 1st, and it allows officials to copy any data they find on your devices. The law cannot be challenged by travelers, and security can lock devices without jurisdictional issues. These laws can be ineffective at catching criminals if they pay the fine or if they store everything in the cloud, wipe their phone, and restore the data once they enter the country. A single copy of the FBI's report is on its way into the allegations of sexual misconduct against Judge Brett Kavanaugh which has been delivered to the U.S. Senate. Senators are now getting their chance to review the report ahead of a vote which could put Kavanaugh on the state Supreme Court. Nicole Killian has more details from Capitol Hill.
Senators are being allowed into a secured briefing room to review the FBI's report about allegations of sexual misconduct against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh.
They interviewed 10 witnesses. They followed leads from interviews that made sense to me. I'm confident the FBI did a good job. They were not hindered in any way.
The FBI did not interview Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, who testified that Kavanaugh pinned her down and groped her during a gathering in 1982. Nor did they interview more than a dozen people proposed by Ford's lawyers. Deborah Ramirez, who alleges Kavanaugh exposed himself to her at a party, was interviewed by the FBI. But she told The New Yorker, "People who were key to corroborating my story have not been contacted. I feel like I'm being silenced." Kavanaugh has denied all claims against him.
Democrats agreed that the investigation scope should be limited. We did not agree that the White House should tie the FBI's hands.
With the FBI investigation now complete, Senate Republicans are pushing ahead for a final vote on Kavanaugh's confirmation.
We are fully confident after reviewing this information, senators are going to be comfortable voting yes.
3 Senate Republicans have not made up their minds on how they'll vote, and the White House may not have helped their cause with the limited scope of the FBI investigation.
Frankly, I don't think you've done very much to give them much political cover because it's not been that widespread.
The Senate will have a procedural vote tomorrow, with a final confirmation vote likely coming Saturday. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Child advocacy groups are saying that Facebook's messaging app for children violates federal law by collecting user information without verifiable consent from parents. On Wednesday, the Federal Trade Commission was asked by the Campaign for Commercial-Free Childhood and other groups to investigate Facebook's Messenger Kids for violating the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, or COPPA. Facebook responded Wednesday by saying the app doesn't show ads, nor does it collect information more than what is necessary to run the app. The app was launched last December and is aimed for children under 13 who are technically unable to have Facebook accounts, despite the fact that many still do. A South Carolina city is stunned after a gunman ambushed police, killing 1 and wounding 6 others. The 4 officers were from Florence, South Carolina, and the 3 sheriff's deputies were shot while serving a search warrant. Police officer Terrence Caraway died in the gunfire. He had just celebrated 30 years on the force. The suspect is in custody and is identified as 74-year-old Fred Hopkins. Dave McNoud is near the scene in Florence, about 100 miles north of Charleston.
This is a hard and difficult day for us.
Overcome with grief, Major Mike Nunn of the Florence County Sheriff's Office recounted the tragedy that unfolded as his deputies approached the home.
At approximately 4 p.m., suspect inside the residence opened fire on the investigators. 3 of our deputies were shot.
Police officers from the city of Florence responded as backup, and 4 of them were shot.
We have an officer down at this time. Suspect still firing, use precaution.
Fire was being shot all over. The way the suspect was positioned, his view of fire was several hundred yards, and the officers couldn't get to the ones that's down.
Police were forced to use a bulletproof truck to rescue the wounded officers. The suspect allegedly held children hostage while barricading himself inside the home. The standoff lasted for about 2 hours, and then the suspect surrendered.
Today we lost a good friend of mine.
Florence Police Chief Alan Heidler was unable to fight back tears as he described the fallen police officer, Terrence Caraway, who served on the force for more than 30 years. Heidler called him and the rest of the wounded officers family.
Pray for these officers and their speedy recovery. Pray for the family who lost the bravest police officer that I have ever known.
And after the break, we'll be back with your weather and sports. Stay tuned.
Celebrate Lifetime Achievement Awards in music.
Neil Diamond.
Emmylou
Harris.
John Williams.
Louis Jordan.
Let the good times roll.
Tina Turner.
Queen, and more. For a star-studded explosion of their hits, look for the Recording Academy's 2018 Grammy Salute to Music Legends on Great Performances.
Friday at 9 p.m. on Public TV 13.
Hello and welcome back to Public Eye News Weather. I'm Am Diaz, your weatherman for today, and we are looking at a sunny yet chilly NMU campus today. And looking at our current conditions, we're looking at partly cloudy. The temperature is at 47 degrees, winds northwest at 16 miles an hour. Barometric pressure is at 30.26 and rising. Looking at tonight, we're looking at some rain, the low of 35, and winds at northeast at 7 miles an hour. Looking towards tomorrow, we're looking at cloudy, the high of 46, and winds east-southeast at 8 miles an hour. Looking around the UP, where it is cloudy, but with a little bit of sunshine, starting at Sault Ste. Marie at 45 degrees. Manistique at 46, Escanaba at 49, and Menominee at 50 and sunny. Iron Mountains at 47 and sunny, and then Ironwoods at 42, Houghton at 45, and beautiful Marquette at 47. Looking ahead, we're looking onto Saturday, the high of 53, the low of 40, and cloudy. Sunday, we're looking at the high of 45, the low of 41, and cloudy. Monday, we're looking at the high of 51, the low of 48, and some rain. We're not looking at the best weekend, Erica, but I do hear you have some news on NMU hockey.
Oh, we sure do, Adam. Northern Michigan University's hockey team selected Sault Ste. Marie native Denver Pierce to be their captain this fall. The new assistant captains will be forward Adam Rockwood and junior defenseman Phil Bolu. NMU head coach Grant Patulli shared these words of wisdom, quote, "I think all three are great choices. All three of them kind of at some point in their life have been humbled, and they work through that to become elite players and elite people. I think anytime your hardest workers are your best players, that sets a great example for the team," end quote. And in volleyball, Northern Michigan University senior Rachel Bronsvig made volleyball history. Bronsvig became the 16th player to achieve 1,000 digs during her collegiate volleyball career. Bronsvig has averaged a total of 3.89 digs per set out of a total of 258 sets from 71 career matches at NMU. Friday night, the Wildcats will travel to compete with University of Wisconsin-Parkside, and on Saturday afternoon, they will go head-to-head with Purdue University Northwest. Tonight in national hockey, the Detroit Red Wings will play the Columbus Blue Jackets at 7:30 p.m. in the Little Caesars Arena. It will be the home opening game for the Detroit Red Wings. Recently retired captain Henrik Zetterberg will drop the ceremonial first puck. Columbus standout defenseman Seth Jones will be missed as he continues to recover from a debilitating knee injury.
Well, that was an interesting story, but I got one interesting story for you from Mexico. A carcass was found hanging in a Pacific Coast resort city in Mexico. The crocodile was hanging by its tail with a stick impaled through its head and a note attached to it. Crocodiles are a protected species in Mexico, and killing them is a crime. The note read that they are going to continue killing these disgusting animals until they are brought under control.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, I can't. I just keep thinking about that officer that lost his life. I feel bad. And that's all the show we have for today. Stay tuned and see you guys tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University,